Hey there, welcome back to The Magic in the Music. I'm Jen. Today, I'm so excited because I am going to be introducing a brand new segment to our channel. I have been wanting to do this for literally years, and it is finally going to happen. And for our very first interview, we are going to be bringing on a really special friend and somebody who has been a friend and partner through this whole YouTube experience over the past few years. And so I can't wait for you to meet Douglas Ballard, who is a band director, a colleague, and also he has his own YouTube channel. And I'm going to bring him in right now so that you can meet our guest and learn all about him. Hey, welcome.
Hello, how you doing?
Great. I'm doing great. It's so nice to see you. I was just thinking, I haven't seen you in person since I think 2010. It's been a really
American Band College. Yeah, the last time we were at American Band College. Yeah.
I know the wonders of technology. We still get to stay connected. So, hey, welcome to my first interview. You are the very first and hopefully
Am
not
I?
the last. So, yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your channel and why, our viewers should go and check out what you're doing on YouTube as well.
Well, I'm, as Jen stated, I'm Doug, and it's nice to see everybody. Glad to be here. The main thing that is my channel is I am the Carousel of Douglas. I'm a big fan of the Carousel of Progress, and I thought that kind of fit nicely with how the way the channel worked. And I do mostly travel tips and secrets inside the parks. I like that kind of aspect of it. I do a little bit of how to save you money, a little bit of what I think you should do, what I think you shouldn't do. That's kind of like the way that my channel is kind of built around. It's all about Disney vacation planning, mostly centered on Disney World. I do plan on doing some Disneyland content eventually, but for right now, it's just mostly Disney World. I'm also doing a little bit of DVC, not as good as Jen does it, but I do a little bit of the DVC stuff. And that's pretty much where my background is. I started going to Disney World 1987. Yeah, 1987. So that was my first experience there. My very first park was Epcot, and I've been a fan ever since. Yeah, I love it. My very first ride was Horizons, which is why I.
Oh, yay! Yeah. That's a proper introduction.
Yeah, my very first ride was Horizons, then Spaceship Earth. So that was kind of, and I love them both. So they're kind of like my personal nostalgia. And I'm sad that Horizons is gone, but I love that Spaceship Earth is still there.
Awesome. So, well, I feel like we should probably explain that we met doing our master's degrees. So that's why you may like, why would this vlogger in Washington know this vlogger in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
So it's because we actually knew each other professionally.
Yeah, we were both going to our master's program. We're both band directors. I'm a high school band director at Upper Darby High School. I'm pretty much new there. I spent most of my career doing middle school band, but now I'm really loving this high school job. It's a really good fit for me.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on that job. Yeah. And then we started both in the pandemic. I think we would occasionally chat or whatever online, comment on each other's stuff. And then I think we both started kind of deciding to do YouTube. And then we started kind of I consider you like an accountability partner. Like, if you're,
totally the same.
Right?
I feel the same way about you. Like,
yeah, like when
I do this?
Yeah, like you're like my workout buddy, but for YouTube.
Yeah. Did you put out a video today?
Yeah, like, well, how's your last video doing? Yeah, have you? And then what do you think I should do with this? I can't figure this thing out. And then we kind of like two heads are better than one. So I feel like
agree on that one.
Yeah, so it's been really, really fun, to get to just sort of like figure out this whole YouTube thing, and to have a friend to lean on has been really great. So thank you for that. If I haven't had a chance to thank you.
The feeling is mutual, and thank you as well. So I really appreciate it.
So that's why I wanted like all of our viewers to see, well, this is one of my friends who I wouldn't be where I am without having this kind of team. And like I said, an accountability partner who keeps you going, keep you motivated when things are tough. So if you haven't checked out his channel, viewers on our channel, please go check it out. He has a lot of fantastic stuff. He does beautiful quality editing. He has beautiful sound. He has like the best sound quality of any vlogger that you're going to find out there, because he's a real audiophile. So,
oh yeah, I'm scarily audio. I brought, just I'm using my microphone here, but I also brought another one just in case this one didn't do it right.
I feel like you're teaching me this because I have an extra one right there too. But yeah, like I've learned and whenever I have sound questions, I just message him and I'm like, hey, is this okay? What's going on? So you are the go-to person for audio, which makes sense. You're a musician, of course. So it's great. So I wanted to ask you, you talked about when you were first introduced to Disney. So you first went in the 80s. Was that a family vacation?
Yeah, my grandparents were snowbirds, and they lived in an Airstream trailer down in Melbourne, Florida, and they would go every year. They lived in Michigan, and they would drive this trailer in a giant Chevy Suburban. They would pull this thing down there, and we would go, and it was the first time ever going to go visit them in Melbourne. And my grandfather literally was like, hey, there's this park and we should go.
There's this park.
I'm not joking. That's literally how the conversation went. And so the whole family piled into the Suburban and we drove to Disney. And my grandfather was an interesting character. And he's like, we're going to go to the park that I hear teaches you stuff first. So we go to Epcot first, and I walk in and I'm like, there's a giant golf ball.
And you're what, like 7 or 8?
I'm 7 going like, and there's this big purple dragon toy. And
yes.
Yeah, the first toy I ever owned, the first stuffed animal from Disney I ever owned was a giant Figment with the yellow sweater with the red collar. It said Figment on the front. Yeah, it was the first stuffed animal I ever owned. But the first ride we got on was Horizons, because my grandfather literally asked the cast member at the front gate, what's the learningest ride in the park? That's literally the phrase he used too. He said, what's the learningest ride in this park? And she's like, oh, I think it's Horizons. And he's like, that's where we're going.
Oh, wow.
So that was my first experience. But Horizons, I remember riding it and going, like, I just sit there, and I was as you could probably tell already, I was a hyperactive kid. And I'm sitting there going like, my mom said it was one of the first times she ever saw me sit still for an extended period of time. Because
that's a long ride too.
Yeah. And I just sat there with my mouth open the whole time. I do remember being upset that my choice of ending didn't get picked, though. So,
where you picked the 3?
Yeah, one of the, or 4 or whatever it was. I don't remember.
There's space, desert,
underwater, and there was one there. I think there was one more.
I don't know what the other one was.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Someone can comment and tell us in the comments.
Yeah, please remind us, because it's been so long since I wrote it.
I know.
But I still remember loving the heck out of it. I think we ended up riding it about 6 times that day.
Yeah, rest in peace, Horizons.
Yeah, I
love Horizons. That's the one that famously I wet my pants on when I was 5. So when I say it's a long ride, I mean it.
It's a long ride. It was awesome, though. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it, even though I wet my pants. So, I mean, if you haven't peed on Horizons, have you really lived?
No, no. I mean, there was that crew for a little while. I mean, their YouTube videos are still up there where they were literally like sneaking into the background. They would get off the ride vehicle in certain spots, and they would literally like have little parties for hours in the backgrounds of Horizons, and then get back on an empty ride vehicle. It's crazy.
Yeah. I want to say it's like Hoot and Chief or something like that.
Yeah, it's something to that effect. Yeah.
That's a great. I love that story. I hate to get into a spoiler, but the reason it's so heartwarming is that they were really close friends, and I think one of them became ill and passed away later. Yes, obviously we don't condone going in backstage spaces. You don't want to get banned for life, but hearing that story of that friendship, I think was really beautiful.
Yeah, they never caused any damage. They never did anything technically wrong
that we know of.
Yeah. But they filmed the whole adventure, and it really gave you it was one of the first times I ever see an insight into the way that the behind the scenes of a ride works. And it was really kind of a fascinating thing. I admit being more fascinated with it than I should have been. But I agree with Jen. I don't condone ever doing that. Please don't do that. It ruins things for other people. But those guys just did it a little differently enough that I was like,
I would never do that stuff, but that doesn't make it not entertaining to me to watch other people.
100%. I'm not going to be the one getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's like, as long as it's not me, I don't want to do that. But it is very interesting. Well, do you have any favorite Disney memories? Well, I think you just shared one. So that memory of going with your grandfather
Yeah.
on the ride, is that one of your favorite or most impactful Disney memories?
No. I mean, it's the first.
Yeah.
It's the first. The probably the most impactful memory for me is when I proposed to my now wife at
Oh.
Cinderella's royal table. So
Oh, that's a perfect spot.
yeah, that whole day I had the ring in my pocket, and this is 2002, so it was post 9/11. So I actually carried the ring in my pocket on my shorts through security, and I had a buddy of mine named Scott. I said, "Hey, look, I've got the ring in my pocket. I don't want her to know." It was a total surprise. She didn't know it was coming. I need you to like grab her and say, I don't know, just say you need to go look at planes or something. I was just trying to give him an idea. And that's literally what he did. So they go through security. Scott grabs my now wife by the hand and runs away with her going, "Hey, let's go look at planes." And he runs away. And, and then moving on forward, and she's like, later on, she's like, "I had no idea what was wrong with him, but I just was like, okay, let's go look at planes." So Michelle was just
Had a little too much coffee today.
yeah. I mean, sorry, I didn't say her name before. Her name is Michelle. She's the love of my life, and we share the Disney experience together. But we went to Cinderella's royal table that day, and I had the ring again in my pocket. I'd hidden it pretty well in the hotel room. We stayed at Coronado Springs when we went for that trip, and we get to the restaurant, and I had set up all this stuff. Like they used to have this like fairy tale engagements and weddings department, and you could like buy stuff and packages and things like that. And I had picked up a crystal slipper with our names engraved on it, and chocolates shaped like Mickey. And because most of the people, except for me in our group that went, because we actually went on spring break in college, were under 21, I got sparkling grape juice to be poured at the thing, because you could have purchased champagne, but they brought sparkling grape juice instead. So yeah, we're at the Cinderella's royal table. I've been spending all day panicking that the ring was going to fall out of my pocket. It almost did on Thunder Mountain, and we sitting there, and right as we're going upstairs, we had this waiter who still works there, by the way. His name is Christopher, and Christopher like is standing there, and as we get to the top, he goes, "Excuse me, which of the princes set the reservation for this dining experience?" And I just like, that was me. And then he goes, "Thank you, Prince. I appreciate that." And as he's walking me to the table, he looks me in the face and he goes, I don't know if that came across on camera, but literally just looks at me and goes, and I'm like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden I realize he's trying to get me to step away from the table, right? He pushes Michelle's chair in and does it one more time. And I go, "I got to go to the bathroom." And I leap up out of my seat like a small child, like running to the one side of the thing. And he goes, "You must be Douglas. And the lady that I just sat across from you, is that the party that you're looking to propose to?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Here's the instructions." And he holds up the sheet of paper. They were completely garbled because this is the time of faxes. And so the fax instructions were like, it was just, he goes, "I don't have any idea what I'm supposed to do." I just knew that I had an engagement today. And so I ran it down. I was like, I'm going to propose. I'm going to do a little speech, and then I'm going to propose to her, and then you can bring everything out. And it's that simple. He goes, "We've got this." So we go to I'm sorry that this story's so long.
No, it's a great story.
So I go to do the proposal, and I stand up in the middle of Cinderella's royal table and realize as I stand up that they 100% put us in the middle of the room.
Of course.
We're in the dead center of the room. And when I stand up, they must have been warning the people around the room that, hey, watch for that guy to stand up or do something because he's going to propose. The entire room of all the guests in the room, including the children, went silent. And I look around and everyone's now staring at me. So they must have been warned that, hey, this guy's going to propose to somebody. So I start this speech. I go, "Hey, thanks to all my friends who came here to Disney with us today, blah, blah, blah. It's so great because we, to be here without our parents." The whole room laughs. So now I realize they really are listening to me. So I drop down. Then I go, "But, as we all know, Disney is the most magical place on earth. And I just want to make it just a little bit more magical for someone extra special to me. And then I turned to Michelle and proposed to her. While I was doing that, she had stopped listening to me talk, and she didn't hear that part. She was literally staring up at the ceiling, because the ceiling in there is so cool looking.
Oh,
They had turned on the blinking starlight. You know,
I've
that
never
they use,
seen that.
and that whenever the fairy godmother comes out, they have these
Okay.
blinking. They have blinking starlight, and they had turned it on, and she was looking at it, and all of a sudden I just saw her go, because it dawned on her what I was doing, and the look on her face, and she goes, "Oh my God." And that was it. I always tease her that she never actually said yes, that she would marry me, that she said, "Oh my God."
Just a
She,
given, huh?
yeah, she gave me her hand, so I figured it was all good.
You're good to go.
But yeah, it was just so funny, because I always tease her that she wasn't paying attention until all of a sudden I was like, "Michelle, will you marry me?" And then she's like, it took a second, because she was looking up, and she's like,
She was enjoying the Disney magic.
"Oh, absolutely," and I don't blame her whatsoever.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. Really, it always makes me laugh to tell that part of the story, because I always tease her that she never actually said yes.
Oh, that's a great memory. And so you've been back there from anniversaries, I take
Oh
it?
yeah, we haven't been back in a long time, but the last time we did it, we actually did a breakfast.
Mhm.
And that was it was right after Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was
Mhm.
opened, when the new Fantasyland. That was the last time we were there.
2013 maybe?
I think that's the
Somewhere
last
around
time
there.
we ate there, because we did a breakfast in order to be in the park early,
Mhm.
and walk over to the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train to get on it. So
Oh, that's an awesome story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'd never heard that story, so I'm really
sorry,
glad.
I was so involved.
Yeah, yeah. I love how, like, you were all prepared too. Like, you know, true form as a musician, you're prepared for the performance. I love it. I love it. So would you tell us a little bit about your journey to become a Disney content creator? How did YouTube start for you? I know we had really similar timing on that together, but what kind of moved you towards doing that?
When they closed everything down, my school district basically asked us to make lessons for the rest of the year, video lessons for the rest of the year, and then have office hours for the kids to come ask questions from.
Mhm.
It was before they really had figured out what the heck they were going to do.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I'm not about to make these like these half like thought out videos. I'm going to go for it. So I started making these music basics videos, and I made, I think, 16 of them. Ended up making about 16 of them. And I would teach like a specific aspect of music, like what's meter, what is rhythm, here's some basic rhythms. Let's read these together. Here are these, because at the time with middle school thing, we were just figuring out that if you tried to do an ensemble on Zoom, it was never going to work.
Oh yeah, that did not work at
Yeah.
all.
A
Total
lot of
nightmare.
So I was doing these videos for my band kids, like basics of music. And I got to the end of it. And the last thing I did was I played the last video I made was a goodbye video, because it was the end of the school year, where I made a video of me playing the Mickey Mouse alma mater, the slow version, now it's time
Oh,
to,
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
and then that one got a lot of hits. And I was like, my wife and I go to Disney every year. Maybe I should actually do videos about something that I like doing too, and I know I enjoyed making those videos for the music class. I did, but it wasn't really like, it felt like work. It didn't feel like, fun.
Oh yeah.
And so I switched over, and actually it was funny because I talked to you about it. I said, "Hey,
Mhm.
I'm going to Disney in September, and I was thinking about vlogging it and seeing how it goes." And you were like, "Yeah, I'm already doing this great thing for." I remember you had just started doing like the DVC stuff at that time, I think.
Yeah. Well, we tried a lot of different things, and that seemed to be getting traction. So we were like,
Because
"Oh, we'll do that."
you had gone in July, if I
Yes,
remember
we went
correctly.
right after it reopened, which
Yeah,
was eerie and bizarre. And I know
yeah.
you went pretty early on too.
We went
Fall.
September, right after Labor
Yeah.
Day, for 4 days, and it was. I have video of like right outside of Frontierland. No, sorry, Liberty Square, right outside of Liberty Square, just devoid of people.
Yeah, it
And
was weird.
yeah, but I started vlogging in September. You had done the vlogging in July,
Mhm.
and I talked to you about it. It's like, "Hey, how did it go? Did you enjoy it? What are some things?" And I just remember that that's kind of how our conversation kindled was the fact
Yeah.
that I had noticed that you had started doing that
Mhm.
because you've been posting it on Facebook. And I was like, besides, I love your branding, by the way. I love the magic of the music. I love that. I love that.
We've had that idea for like probably 10 years before we ever even used it.
I love it. I think it's one of the best ones out there. I'm not just
Oh,
saying that
thank
because I'm on your channel right now. Like, I'm dead serious. I think it's one of the best ones out there.
Well,
As-
I have my husband to thank for he's like, "That's what it has to be." And, like, I was like I suggested, and he's like, "That's it. You have to do it." And I'm like, "Okay."
But yeah, that's how it started, and it kind of went from there. Whenever I run out of footage, I start doing what I call sit and chats. That's where I,
Mhm.
talk to the camera and I give tips and try to use B-roll footage, or I throw in data that I'm able to collect and try to help people have a better vacation, because people started coming to me a lot to be the guy who helps them plan their vacation. And I
Mhm.
realized that it would be easier if I could go, hey, just watch this instead of trying to
Yes,
re-explain it every time.
exactly. Saves
And also,
yourself time in the end, right?
I I also like your idea about it, and I've totally adopted it, is the yearbook concept. Like, it's a
Mhm.
way to document my time with my favorite person in the
Yeah.
world in Disney. So I like doing that too.
Yeah, it's instead of making an album maybe of the trip, it's like, well, here's a series of vlogs. You could just watch that.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind that. So
Yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, so I have some quick Disney questions that I want to ask you so that we can get to know you a little bit better. So, do you have a favorite Disney film or a favorite Disney score? Maybe they're the same, maybe they're different.
they're not the same. My
Okay.
favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast, hands down.
Okay.
I
Animated
love
version,
animated.
obviously,
Yes,
right?
yes. The animated version. I love Beauty and the Beast. I wore out my clamshell VHS tape as a kid.
Uh-huh.
But my favorite score is any of the Incredibles movies. I think
Oh,
Giacchino
yeah.
just killed it with those. He
Yeah.
was so good, and I like the incorporation of, like, I like the when he was asked like what was the impetus. He said, "Well, the director of the Incredibles asked me to give him a combination between James Bond and Mission Impossible," and I was like, and I was like, and he goes, and so I threw a little film noir in too, and I was
Yeah.
like,
That's
oh,
Michael Giacchino or
Giacchino,
Giacchino?
Giacchino, yeah.
Giacchino.
The only reason I know that is because he is a regular on a radio show in my area,
Oh,
and he
okay.
said his name, so now I know how to say it.
Wait, say it for me again.
Giacchino.
Giacchino. Okay, because he's really good. I definitely need to know how to say his name properly. Yeah, I'm doing like a Pixar movie favorites medley with the 8th grade at the end of the year concert, and it opens with Incredibles, and they love it.
I
It's really
actually
fun.
I actually used like that level 4, level 5 Jay Bocook arrangement that he
Uh-huh.
did of the Incredibles, that has the Incredibles, the Glory Days, and the end credits
Oh
together.
yeah,
I
yeah.
used it at my Spring Pops concert, and then my kids begged to do the in credits portion of it as an encore at my concert, which actually
Oh,
just
that's
this past
perfect for
Thursday.
that. Yeah, that's a great one. There's also there's some nice arrangements for jazz band of that. That's a
Oh yeah,
great way to entice kids into jazz styles like swing and stuff.
oh, absolutely, I agree with you.
So, yeah. Okay, well, do you have a most underrated Disney film or song or something from Disney that you think's really underrated and doesn't get the love that it deserves?
Yes, it's very obscure.
Okay.
Black Hole.
Oh, I'm not sure if I've ever seen it.
It was their response to Star Wars,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it is dark, it is scary, it has amazing special effects for when it came out. It is a great movie, and it gets zero play.
Wow,
Zero
maybe
play.
we need to go check this out.
Yeah, Black Hole, and it's on Disney Plus. So if you want to
Is
see
it?
it, oh yeah, you want to see it, you got to see it. It's a hidden gem of sci-fi brilliance.
Okay.
It has they have their own droids in it. They have like that villain, that like perfect villain. Oh, it's so good. Black Hole, I highly
I feel
recommend.
like I hear about it, but I can't really remember seeing it.
Yeah,
So
probably from me.
yeah, maybe. I've seen shots of it too, but it would have been early 80s.
Oh yeah, it was like 81,
Okay.
somewhere in there. Yeah, it released it was their answer to Star Wars. It was
Yeah.
that they were trying to, because everyone tried to make a space movie after Star Wars
Mhm.
came out.
Well, I think it's kind of ironic too that ultimately Disney's answer to Star Wars was Star Wars.
Yeah,
Like it
that's
was
pretty
to
much,
buy Star Wars.
yeah, that's also true. That's
Yeah.
also,
That's one way to do it, I guess.
oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you have I think you have a favorite Disney park, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I think you and I have the same favorite Disney park.
Probably.
It's Epcot.
Yeah, Epcot's awesome.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Epcot is actually it's weird. It's actually the World Showcase.
Oh,
First off,
Showcase is great. Yeah.
yeah, first off, it's postcard
Mhm.
of that country.
Sure,
I
like,
do,
it's a bit of a stereotype, yeah.
yeah, it is, and but the thing that I love about it is one is the international cast members that they bring in that are actually from
Oh,
those
yeah.
countries. So if you want to learn about the actual country, not just the stereotypical stuff, you can do that. You can ask them questions. I also love, like, whenever I go to Germany, so the very first time I ever bought a legal beer was actually in when I turned 21, was actually at the German buffet. My drum corps had put on a performance in Magic Kingdom, and they gave us park hopping passes as a payment for us putting on that performance there.
Mhm.
And I was at the Bavarian experience, and I was really excited because I wasn't unless we were on free days, we weren't allowed to drink on tour. It was a
Mhm.
rule with the drum corps. And I had turned 21 on tour. So I hadn't been able to actually utilize the ability to be 21 yet. And so we're on free day, and that's when we were allowed to do it. And so we're in the Germany booth, and I actually speak German, so I was
Mhm.
really excited. So
That's awesome.
I talked to the person in German and asked for my beer in German, because not only was I now speaking a language that I could speak, but I was just about to be carded, right? No. They were so excited I spoke German to them, they gave me the beer for free and didn't card me.
Oh, that's perfect.
And
That
I was
was Oktoberfest is the
Yeah,
restaurant,
exactly,
right?
Oktoberfest beer
Yeah.
garden, yeah, and I got a liter my very first drink was a liter of the Dunkel, and,
Oh, okay.
so
Well, and for our viewers, Doug is really quite a foodie. So he has a lot of really great videos. If you're looking for really good dining reviews, he'll talk about, he knows about like the beverages too, alcoholic beverages and not and all the food. He knows he's so much more sophisticated food reviewer than we are. I'm like, oh, this would go well with ketchup.
but
Hey,
but I that's very kind of you to say, I appreciate that. I just try not to be that pretentious food
Oh,
reviewer.
no, no, you're not, but you know what you're talking about, and I really appreciate that. Like, he can talk about the beers and all the different things, and he actually knows something about it. I really don't know about that.
I like your food reviews too, because it's like it gives me everything I need quick, and I
I'm
appreciate
like,
that.
"This is good. Okay.
And the
Eat
thing is, though,
here."
like, you can also tell that it's an honest. From you, it's you can also tell it's honest. Like, some people are like, oh, I can get all the palate of this. Oh, shut up. It's like just tell me about the food, please. Like, and you and Randall both are really good at, like, especially what's that thing Randall doesn't like it. He doesn't like the
Oh,
food at
Satchuli Canteen. He
Chili
hates
Canteen.
Satchuli Canteen, and
I
I
love
love it.
Chili Canteen. I love it. My
Oh,
wife does too. We both love it. But I just think it's funny
I'll go there with you guys.
when he had the bite of the cheeseburger pod, the look on his face, I was like, he hates it.
That was me trying bread pudding at Ohana.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, "I'm sure this is really good bread pudding, but I don't like bread
Yeah,
pudding."
when I saw that video of you doing that, I was like, she hates it. How can you hate the bread pudding at Ohana?
I don't know, I don't
I
like
love,
it.
I love the fact that you give an honest answer, though. I love the fact that
Yeah.
your food reviews are honest, and I appreciate you for
Well,
that
I
very
I
much.
always look forward to your food reviews because, like I said, you are a little bit more of a grown-up about your food reviews, and that's nice. Mine are great if you wanna know what to feed your 8-year-old, because I have an 8-year-old and I eat like one, so it's perfect.
Oh,
So,
you eat
there
more
you go.
than chicken fingers and fries. You're good.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of food, do you have a favorite restaurant at any of the Disney parks?
At the parks?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Okay, well, it
Um,
doesn't have to be in the parks, like on property or anything like that.
I can actually, yeah, I can answer that. The probably my favorite restaurant in the parks is going to be, if, like, I was going to say, hey, I just want to get food and I know it's going to be good. I'll
Mhm.
do it that way. It's Via Napoli in Italy in
I
Epcot.
haven't eaten there.
The pizza there is amazing. The one thing I love about the fact is that they actually wanted to make sure that they had water that was the right pH to Napoli, Italy. And instead of getting it from Napoli, Italy, which would have been super expensive, they actually get it from Pennsylvania. They get it from right outside of Harrisburg. There's a spring that they buy the water from to make the pizza at Via Napoli, to make sure that the pizza comes out perfect.
Well, that
And
sounds like a good idea to me. The best pizza I ever had was in Rome. So
yeah,
it probably was because I was in Rome. I
that
was on
might have some.
vacation.
But I probably the other one I really like in the parks itself is, and my wife is probably like, she's
Mhm.
probably saying, say Ronto Roasters, Doug, because I love the Ronto wraps a lot, a lot. But that's not really my favorite. I think actually in Hollywood Studios, though, I'm going to stay there. Is the Brown Derby is probably another one of my favorite in park
Yeah.
restaurants. It's so good. The food is. I like the fact that the menu cycles and they do
Mhm.
keep some regulars like the grapefruit cake and things like that. But there's always something new to try, and I love that about Hollywood Brown Derby. But outside of the parks at the resorts, it's Chico, the cooking place in Animal Kingdom Lodge. That's not even a question for me.
Yeah, it was very good. We've dined there too.
Yeah,
I
and
would
I know
definitely
you also like my wife's favorite, which is Topolino's Terrace.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
I will
yeah,
go there
my wife
any day.
yeah, my wife ate there once and declared it her favorite, and
Yeah,
she is still declaring it her favorite.
I think we've been 3 or 4 times now, and we I would go any day of the week. You can take me to Topolino's Terrace anytime. Okay, well, what about resorts? Do you have a favorite resort? I mean, you and I are both DVC members, so obviously we stay in those resorts a lot, but really, is there out of all of them, are there any favorites for you?
Well, before we became DVC members, it was Port Orleans French Quarter.
Mhm.
It was affordable, quiet, but it had all the amenities, and if you didn't, you could easily walk to Riverside.
Mhm.
The best part about it was the one bus. The one
Yes.
bus having only one bus stop, because the part that resort's a little on the smaller side, was nice because you didn't have to wait. You didn't have to worry about whether or not you were going to get on the bus because the bus showed up full.
Mhm.
Um, that's one of the things I love about French Quarter. But when I became DVC members, Polynesian, it was it.
Yeah.
Polynesian's fantastic, probably the close second to the boardwalk, but I'm going to stick with the Polynesian just because the access to the monorail, the ability to walk to the TTC to go to the monorail to Epcot, the ease of getting everywhere else because it's so centrally located on the property.
Mhm.
It's Polynesian, and also Dole Whip. So there
Yeah.
you go.
There's just the vibe there is just so great. It's tough to beat, especially at night, like, when all the torches are lit and, just the
I
ambiance
love
is
it,
so
and
cool.
being able to watch the fireworks from the beach with the music being piped in, just so nice.
It's great. We get to stay there again this summer. I'm really looking forward to that. Is there one theme park that you consider to be kind of your home or one location? What is your home at Disney? Like, you
Hmm.
went to Disney World first, so that's kinda your home,
Yeah,
Disney park.
yeah, and I think that if I can be close to Epcot, so Boardwalk Inn is nice because of that, because it gets me because I we will when extra magic hours are available, or like as they have right now for the deluxe guests. One of our favorite things to do is to walk the World Showcase at night.
Mhm.
Just walk it, not really stop anywhere. Just take a nice slow, yeah, holding hands walk around the World
Mhm.
Showcase at night. So I would say that if I was going to go with a home park, it would definitely be Epcot. And if we can stay near Epcot so we can facilitate that, probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm on the West Coast, so, a lot of the viewers that I have are actually East Coast or sometimes even Midwest, but, I live much closer to Disneyland, but, so a lot of people over here consider that to be their home park.
Mhm.
So it often is just a regional thing, whatever's closer to you, or I think for a lot of people, it's wherever they went first.
Yeah, I love Disneyland. There's a number of things about Disneyland that are better than Magic Kingdom. I
Mhm.
100% feel that way. I'll just say it. Space Mountain,
Oh, yeah.
Pirates, those two are immediately better.
But there's no Epcot there.
Nope.
So,
So Epcot's my home park. That's
yeah.
my favorite.
There you go. Do you have a dream job at Disney?
Oh
You
yeah.
have not been a Disney cast member,
No,
correct?
nope. I would
Okay.
love to be though.
But if
Um,
you were and you could do any job at Disney, and they would call you up and say, "Okay, we want you to come move to Florida or wherever and do this job," what would it be?
I would sing bass with the Voices of Liberty.
Oh, yes. That would be awesome. And I would
That
come
or
watch you sing.
that or Dapper Dance. I'd probably go with Voices of Liberty over Dapper Dance, but I love the
Air
Dapper Dance. Don't
conditioning.
get me wrong. But yes, air conditioning and that rotunda.
Yes, that would be I knew you were gonna say this. I knew this was gonna be your answer. It had to be
Yeah,
singing.
I would.
He's
I
quite
would.
if you don't know this, he is quite an accomplished singer.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. I'm trying to be an accomplished singer.
Okay. Well, yeah. So a lot of musicians, we all have to sing to a certain extent. We all had to sing in our choir, getting our music degrees and whatnot. But some of us have spent more time studying voice than others, but we're instrumentalists. And Doug is one of those people who also doubles up and has quite a strong voice background as well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah. So maybe you can sing on your channel a little more often.
I do. If you want to watch my blogs, I do it all the time on the blogs.
Yeah.
I'm apparently TikTok famous for singing along with "Let It Go" on Frozen, because I had some girl tell me she literally was on the boat in front of me the night before, saw me again the next day in the park, said her video got 10,000 views, and people were asking
That's
about
awesome.
the dude singing along.
That's great. I also love you have quite a nice little birthday video on your channel as well.
Oh yes, yeah, my birthday wishes. You feel free to send it to your friends. It's called the short birthday song. It literally goes, "This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Hey!" And you can just send it to somebody, and it's a lot of fun.
Perfect. Yeah. So go check out his birthday song. Oh yeah, that was a really fun video. All right. So finally, I want to ask you about your Disney bucket list. Are there some places that you haven't yet experienced or things you haven't done yet in the sort of world of Disney? Like not just theme parks, anything. It could be cruises, it could be Adventures by Disney, it could be international parks, whatever. Is there anything that you want to do?
All right. So my wife and I do have one thing on our bucket list. We're going to go to the Grand Floridian, and we're going to try to figure out how to set up Victoria and Albert's for our 20th wedding anniversary.
Oh, yes. That is a perfect thing.
Yeah, we know it's expensive. We're fully aware of that. We're going to have to save up to do it. But we want to, our 20th wedding anniversary is coming up in 2024. That is currently the bucket list item that I'm working on. I'm sure others will come up after that, but right now that's what
I think that's a perfect choice, and especially for having, like a romantic anniversary. I can't imagine. I mean, I haven't dined there yet. I hope to do that someday too. But oh yeah, I think you're both going to have a fantastic time. I cannot wait. Oh no, this is hard because it's like you don't really want to vlog it.
Yeah, I'll probably
But
do
you
the.
sort of want to document it.
Probably like film the food,
Yeah.
and then do a voiceover later. Disturb.
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm handle it with that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a hard one to figure out, but somehow you got to document it because we all want to see and experience it as well.
Yeah,
You can take us with you.
It's not gonna, like I said, it's not gonna happen until 2024 because I want to do it for the 20th
That
anniversary.
is not as far away as it sounds.
No, it's not. But I do want to talk. I'm going to talk to the concierge at Grand Floridian and find out if there's anything special about making reservations there. Because otherwise it might be just on the 60-day notice, but I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping
I
it's
don't know. I've never booked one. So
yeah, that's why I'm going to ask.
Yeah, maybe you could do a video about how to do that.
Hey, I'm going to ask them how to do this later.
You can make a video about how to make a reservation there. So
yeah. It should be interesting. If it's different, I'll definitely make one. I think it'd be a good thing for people to know.
Well, why don't you tell us where we can find you online? Are you on social media and, your YouTube channel and everything?
Right now, I just pretty much use my personal spaces for posting things. And I whenever I put something out, I post it publicly. My Twitter handle is at BonesMellow, and that's weird, but BonesMello. And I post most of my videos there. For Instagram, I'm still working on becoming more picture oriented with the Instagram, so I don't really put stuff much there yet. That's also the same. It's also the same handle there. But my channel is Carousel of Douglas at YouTube. So it's the /C/Carousel of Douglas, no spaces.
Yeah. And they can also just search on YouTube for Carousel of Douglas and they'll find you no problem.
Yeah.
And also, you know what we didn't mention earlier? Can I brag about you? He's a published composer.
Oh.
So if you happen to be a band director.
I work for a company called CWJ Music House. I have a number of pieces with them.
Yeah, so if you happen to be a music educator like us, you can go check out his stuff and at your place where you buy music.
Yeah, JW Pepper, JW Pepper, musicnotes.com. They all carry them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. So, yeah, you got a lot going on, and you sing. I know you sing also sometimes around the holidays. You sing in a group.
Yeah, I work for the Old Town Carolers. We sing out of Longwood Gardens mostly is our major client. They're a beautiful conservatory that used to be owned by the DuPont family, and the Longwood Gardens is just beautiful. And we sing. We literally dress up in Victorian Christmas outfits and four part acapella carols.
That's awesome. So you're a busy guy. You got a lot going on. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really, really fun to get to know our friend Doug better, and we hope you'll go and check out his channel and all the things that he has going on as well. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here on this channel, be sure to check us out on Patreon and themagicandthemusic.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a fantastic day, everybody.
And like we like to say over here at Carousel Douglas, we don't like to say goodbye because we're going to see you real soon. So we say, see you bye.
See you, bye.